your knees are up to the edge of the mat, your toes are touching, and you just slowly sink your hips back. Maybe they touch your heels, maybe they don't, it doesn't matter. But here we are, and place your forehead on the mat. Your hands are long in front of you, but your elbows can be on the mat. So a passive child's pose to begin practice in this part of the sequence that we call integration. Roll your forehead back and forth. Just rock back and forth, giving your forehead a massage, and breathe. Just find your normal breath. Rocking your heads from side to side. Stretch your fingers out a little bit longer in front of you, and maybe now bring the eye of your elbow up off the mat, plugging your shoulders in. And you do that by pressing against your palms, and your shoulders are drawing a little bit more down your back. And as you press into the mat with your palms, maybe your hips can sink a little bit closer to your heels, breathing normally. Seeing how your body feels, integrating yourself, your body with your mat, and maybe thinking about an intention. Maybe it's nonviolence, could be anything, joy, something that you could reflect on. And now I want you to start your Ujjayi breathing. So constrict the back of your throat and breathe in and out through your nose, closing your lips. We call this kind of the sound of the ocean, or even victorious breath. And continue Ujjayi in and out. This is the pose you return to at any point in this practice. We call it a yoga practice for the reason that your anatomy is different than my anatomy. We're all just in a practice together. And if at any point in the practice you lose your breath, you've noticed your breath is ragged or you're out of breath, come back to child's pose. There's no judgment there. Nobody will notice. Just do it and regain your breath, and then catch up to wherever we are when you feel ready. So this child's pose is kind of your landing spot as you breathe in and out, Ujjayi breath. And on your next breath, come up into tabletop. So your hands are on the mat, your fingers are wide open, your pointer finger is straight ahead at 12 o'clock, your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your hips are on top of your knees, your toes are flat on your mat, straight out from your knees, and look up into cow pose, dropping your belly. Look down and into cat pose, arching your back. Inhale up to cow, dropping your belly, chest coming through, look up. Exhale into cat, rounding your back, swiveling your hips forward, and cow. Look up, pop your booty up, and into cat. Exhale. One more cow, inhale. And exhale into cat. Good. Tuck your toes and bring your knees up off the mat, just 2 inches. Plug your shoulders into your shoulder sockets. Look down at your mat. Breathe here. In and out. One more breath in. Engage your abdominal muscles by bringing your belly button closer to your spine and come into downward facing dog. Maybe you're stepping your hands forward a little bit and stepping your feet back, and pedal out your feet. So there can be a lot of bend to your knees. Your shoulders are in the shoulder sockets. Your shoulders are down your back as you pedal. And grip the mat with your fingertips. That really brings some power and allows your wrists a little relief because your fingers are doing some of the work. Now point your toes to the left side of your mat and bend your knees a lot. Big left body stretch. Come high on your toes and now point them to the right. Big right body stretch. Bend your knees a lot. Breathe into it. Breathe in and out. Come high on your toes, sink your heels. Maybe they can reach the mat, maybe not, but you feel it in your calves. Come high on your toes again and sink your heels on an exhale. Come high on your toes and tiptoe to the top of the mat. High on your toes, tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Come up on your forefingers as you come up to the top of your mat. Stay on your tiptoes. See if you can come to a halfway lift on your toes. Sink down, your fingertips are on the mat, fold down, lower your heels, come up to halfway lift, plug your shoulder sockets in and draw the crown of your head forward. Dive down, forward fold. Mountain pose, breathe in as you spark your fingers up to the ceiling. Look up at your thumbs and bring your fingers to your chest. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Good. Breathe in and out. And another big, deep, make this your deepest breath yet. Breathe in and out. We're going to start practice with the sound of one note. Breathe in. Look up, mountain pose. Dive down in an exhale. Halfway lift and step back to high plank. Shoulders are right over your wrists. Here we are. Breathe in. Plug your shoulders into your shoulder sockets so your back is straight. Roll forward a couple inches and lower down just halfway. And come up to upward facing dog. Your knees can be on the mat. And roll back using your abdominal muscles to downward facing dog. And breathe and pedal. Breathe and pedal. Breathe in and out. Come high on your toes and take a big step forward. Right foot, left foot meets it. Fold, half lift, breathe. Exhale, fold, breathe, and mountain. And dive down, fold. Half lift, straight back. Step or jump back to high plank. Here we are. Breathe in, roll forward, lower halfway, knees can be on the mat. Come up to upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Rather than using kind of heft to draw you back to downward facing dog, use your abdominals to draw up and back. Breathe in and out. Come high on your toes. Bend your knees, either walk or jump to the top of the mat. Half lift. Dive down, fold. Inhale, mountain, look up. Dive down, fold. Half lift. Step or jump back to high plank. Breathe here. This is a chaturanga that we're about to do, and we're doing this to build heat. So hopefully you're feeling that you're getting a little bit warmer. Roll forward, halfway down. Just bend your elbows just enough. Come up to upward facing dog and roll back to downward facing dog and breathe. In and out. In and out. On your next breath, come high on your toes. Exhale completely, become light, and jump forward to the top of your mat or step. Half lift. dive down, fold. Mountain pose, spark up, and dive down, fold. Half lift, step or jump back to high plank. Roll forward, lower halfway, come up to upward facing, and draw back using your abdominals to downward facing dog and breathe. Breathe in and out. In and out. We want steady breath. If you're finding your breath is ragged, try this. Breathe in and open your mouth, it out. Come high on your toes, exhale completely, become light, walk or step forward to the top of your mat and come into your chair pose. So chair is an active pose. Our triceps are wrapped around our ears, our back is straight, but we're sinking our hips and we can look down and see our toes. Now look up at the wall in front of you as you sink. Breathe and exhale and sink. Breathe, exhale and sink. Breathe and sink and fold. Halfway lift, step back to come right into come into downward facing dog. Breathe. Breathe in and out. Step your right foot forward. We're coming into warrior one. So step up, you're bending your right knee a lot. You're over your ankle. Your toes on your right foot are straight ahead. Your back toes, your left foot is on a 45-degree angle and the blade edge is digging into the mat. Put your hands on your hips and see if you can, with your own adjustment, bring your hips around towards the front of the room so your hip bones are facing the front. Drawing your right hip back and your left hip forward. Your pelvis is neutral to the floor. Bring your arms up to cactus. Straighten your back. And now draw your arms up overhead for a full warrior one. If you can, scoot your toes forward a little bit to come deeper into it. And breathe. Breathe it in again. And out. One more inhale. Breathe in. And pinwheel your hands to the mat. Step your right foot back into downward facing dog and breathe. In and out. In and out. On your next inhale, step your left foot forward. Come right into warrior one on this side. Use all those cues. Check out your hips. Check out the placement of your feet and toes. Find strength in that back right leg now. Draw your hips to the front of the room. And when you're ready, cactus and then up to full arm extension with your triceps wrapping around your ears. Breathe and look straight ahead and sink. Inhale. Exhale, sink. Inhale. Exhale, sink. One more inhale. And sink and pinwheel your hands to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. And breathe here. In and out. Inhale high on your toes. Exhale completely. You become light and spring forward or walk to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold down. Come into chair pose. Here we are in chair again. Look down. Can you see your toes? Sink your hips back. So you're not over like this. You're back. Draw your arms up overhead. Breathe here. Fold. Half lift. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. We're going to come into warrior one again. On your right side, right foot forward, step, and come right up into it. Make any adjustments that you need to make it work for your body. One of the things I do is I rotate my hands in so my pinkies are kind of facing one another. For me, that helps. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now open up to warrior two. Adjust your back foot so that it's more in a 90-degree angle. Your arms are extended in either direction. Strong. Look over your forefinger of your right hand. Breathe into this. And reverse your warrior. Look up at your right thumb and come into side angle. Lightly place your right forearm on your right thigh and draw your left arm up overhead and look at your thumb on your left hand. Try to stack your shoulders and breathe into this. Pinwheel your hands to the mat. Step back for downward facing dog and breathe. Step your left foot forward. Warrior one. Come right into it. Make any adjustments that you need to, using your hands around your hips, perhaps for a self-adjustment. If you find that your belly's popping out, bring it in. You want your pelvis to be neutral. Breathe. Maybe I can scooch my left toes forward a little bit to come deeper into this. Breathe. Inhale and sink on the exhale. One more breath in and sink. Open up to warrior two. Maybe swiveling your right foot around so it's more at a 90-degree angle on your mat, but that blade edge is really digging in. There's a lot of power in your right leg here. Breathe into this and sink. Breathe in and sink. Reverse your warrior. Look up at your left thumb. Breathe in and out. Now place that left forearm on your thigh and look up at your right thumb. Breathe in and out. And now draw that right arm overhead for extended side angle. Your right tricep is very close to your right ear, and you're trying to stack your shoulders. Breathe in and out. In and out, pinwheel your hands to the mat, step back, come into high plank, lower down halfway, come up to upward facing dog, and roll back to downward facing dog and breathe. Bring your left foot so that it's in the middle of your mat behind you. Kick your right foot back, stamping the wall behind you with your right foot, flexing your toes down, and bring that knee to your nose. Right knee to nose, crunching. Inhale as you extend it back. Right knee, right elbow. Breathe in as you extend it back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, crossing your body. Extend that foot back. Bend your knee so the sole of your foot is now facing the ceiling, and fan open your hip. So you're stacking your hips. It's a hip opener. Breathe into it and out. One more breath in and lower that foot to the mat. Good job. Breathe in and out. Now place your right foot in the middle of the mat behind you and kick your left foot back, stamping the wall. Breathe in and out. Bring your left knee to nose, crunching. Breathe in and extend back out. Bring that left knee to your left elbow. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and bring that left knee to the right elbow, crossing over your body. Extend that leg back. Breathe. Now bend your left knee 90 degrees. Sole of your foot is facing the ceiling. Try to come a little higher on your right toes and open up your hips. You're fanning your hip open. Breathe. Place that foot on the mat and come into child's pose. Take a moment, maybe you have to wipe your brow. I do. Sweating is good. It gets our joints loosened. But come in, and if you need to regain your breath, do so now. Rocking your forehead back and forth on the mat. Just regain your even breath. Good. And come back up into a downward facing dog. Here we are. Breathe in and out. We're in down dog. See, maybe your heels can come a little bit closer to the mat now. It's okay to bend your knees a lot and feel what it feels like when you bend your knees and then try to get your sacrum more pointing to the ceiling. It really makes a difference. Whereas if you lock out your knees, do that and see what happens with your sacrum. So that's the position. We want our sacrum more pointing to the ceiling, and even with bent knee, that's cool. Okay, breathe here. Step your right foot forward. We're coming into Crescent Lunge. So we're high on our left toes. Our feet are hip width distance apart because this is starting to become a balancing pose. Come onto your fingertips, maybe on either side of your right toes, and slowly make your way up. You can parallel your arms and then come up into full Crescent Lunge where your triceps are around your ears and you're sinking into this. Bring your hands to heart in prayer position and twist right by hooking your left elbow on the outside of your right knee, stacking your shoulders, drawing the crown of your head towards the front of the room. Breathe here. You can open your arms if it's there for you. Breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. Slowly come back up into Crescent Lunge. Perfect. Pinwheel your hands down and step back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet a little bit. Step your left leg forward for Crescent Lunge on this side. Same cues. Feet are hip width distance. Your left knee is bent. Come up slowly. Rise up and come into the full crescent with your arms up to the ceiling. Your fingers are sparking up and your triceps are wrapped around your ears. Breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. Now bring your hands to heart in prayer and twist left by hooking your right elbow around the outside of your left knee. Stack your shoulders, draw the crown of your head forward. Open your arms if that's there for you. Or you can put your right hand on a block. Breathe in and out. In and out, and come back up to Crescent Lunge slowly. If you fall out, don't worry, just come back to it. And listen, step your right foot forward to meet your left on the mat. Forward fold, half lift. Take your fingers around your big toe, your thumb and your pointer into Yogi Toe Lock. Bend your elbows, allow your head to just sway. Halfway lift, fold down. We're going to do one more twisting sequence. So from this position, come into your chair pose. So all the things we're doing, sinking your hips back, drawing your arms up overhead. A lot of times my toes kind of pop up off the mat when I'm going in chair, which is okay. Bring your hands to heart in prayer, and now we're going to twist right. So again, hooking your elbow onto the outside of your right knee and stacking your shoulders, drawing the crown of your head forward, and you can turn your head so it's looking up at the ceiling or straight at the wall on your right side. And sink. Breathe in. On the exhale, sink deeper. Breathe in and sink deeper. One more breath in and sink and come into a forward fold. Good job. Breathe in and out. Halfway lift, straight back, fold down. And now come into your chair pose one more time. Breathe in, sink. Bring your hands to heart and twist to the left. Look at your knees and make sure they're parallel with one another, drawing the crown of your head forward, stacking your shoulders, and sinking your hips. Breathe in, and on the exhale, sink deeper. Breathe in, on the exhale, sink deeper. Breathe in and sink. And forward fold. Half lift and mountain pose. Look up. Take a drink of water, wipe your brow, do whatever you need to. And we're gonna come into what they call the equanimity sequence of this wonderful practice. And what that means is balance. So what is balance? It's nothing more than bringing one foot up off the ground and standing here. But we have tools to help us. The tool is drishti, find a gaze point, something that's not moving straight ahead of you. And really sink your eyes into that drishti. Breath, breathing in and out. And really using the stability of your core muscles, because that is where the greatest amount of stability comes from. Feeling all four corners of your standing leg and that tucking your belly up like you're zipping your favorite pair of pants. So find all those components and simply lift your right leg up off the mat and hold it there. Your hands can be in any position that you choose. Breathe in and out. If you fall out, it's okay. Just come back to it. Breathe in and out. In and out. Lower that foot down. Let's lift your left foot up off the mat, employing all those tools. And lower that foot down. So if you find balance is tough and you feel like you're wobbly and you never really can get it together, don't be hard on yourself. It's all about practice, and simply practice by lifting foot up off the ground when you're waiting online, doing the dishes, brushing your teeth, whatever. And that is really going to help. It's really just a matter of practice, like anything. Because we're in an intermediate practice today, we're going to actually do the full double bind of Eagle Pose. So I want you to come into your chair leg. Your hips are sinking back. You can see your toes. Wrap your right leg over your left. Find that drishti point. Your toes can go onto the outside of your left leg and flexed, or if you can, bring them around your left ankle so that they're now on the inside of your left leg. Breathe in and out. And now wrap your right arm under your left, find your drishti point, and sink into this. Draw your elbows up in line with your shoulders. Feel your shoulders opening. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. And come out of it, look up, mountain pose, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So coming into chair leg, sink your hips, wrap your left leg around your right, either fully or on the outside of your right calf, and wrap your left arm underneath your right. This is a double bind called Eagle. Draw your elbows up in alignment with your shoulders and breathe into it and sink. Breathe and sink. And come up, look up, spark your fingers up, look up at your fingers, dive down, halfway lift, dive down, and come right into, we're going to come into airplane pose. So here we are. Our right toes are right straight ahead. Big toe is directly going in that 12 o'clock position. And we step come onto your left toes and just using your muscles, not using hoof, just use your muscles and start drawing your left leg up. And as you're doing that, draw your arms back behind you with your pinkies reaching one another, and get some up dog in your chest. You're looking ahead of you. Breathe into this. Try to bring your left leg up a little bit. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Now, if you've got a block, grab it and come right into half moon on the side. So if you don't have a block, place your right hand down on the mat and now lift your left arm up. You're stacking your shoulders. You're stacking your hips. Your left toes are now flexed towards the left side of the room. Drawing the crown of your head forward. Breathe into this and out and lower down. Good job. So if you've got a block, position it, because we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And, I will say something about airplane and half moon. If there's different body types, I have a rigid body type. So these poses that require me to do what we're doing in airplane and half moon, they come easier for me. But if you have a very flexible body, if you have very open hips, these poses can be very challenging. So don't judge yourself. We all have different body types. So I would like you to, let's see, I want you to step. So now your left foot is forward. Come high on your right toes. And using your abdominal muscles, begin to draw your right leg up and draw your arms back and have your pinkies try to reach one another behind your back as you draw that right leg up and you're looking ahead. Find some drishti, bring a little bend into your standing leg and breathe. Breathe in ease and strength. Now make your way, place your left hand on your block if it's there, and draw your right arm up overhead, stacking your shoulders. And at the same time, you're stacking your hips and you're moving your toes, your right toes, to face the right wall. And breathe into this. Strength and ease. And step your foot down to meet your left. You can remove your block, lower down, forward fold, halfway lift, dive down, and come up to Tadasana. So I want you to just come into a warrior two with your right foot in front, toes pointing straight ahead, and left leg behind. Draw your arms up so that they are drawing to the opposite walls. Breathe in and out. Now straighten your right leg. We're coming into Trikonasana or triangle pose. Hinge at our waist. You're trying to grab that wall in front of you and then lower that right hand down. It can be on your shin or on a block. And again, we're stacking our shoulders like we were in half moon. It's kind of a sister pose. Our crown of our head is drawing to the front of the room. Breathing here. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Step your left foot, come out of that, and step your left foot forward, halfway up your mat. We're going to do pyramid pose. I find using a block here helpful. So I get a block and I'm putting it right in front of my right toes. My feet are hip width distance apart, And I've got equal weight in both of my ankles. So one ankle you're not dumping into your right ankle. Here we are, and we're lowering down. You should feel this. This is a big hamstring stretch on your right side. Breathe in and lower. Breathe in and lower. Now, if you've got that block, put it on its highest setting on the inside of your right arch, and we're going to come into twisting triangle. So draw your right arm up, your left hand is on the block, the tops of your thighs are touching. Look up at your right thumb for twisting triangle. Breathe in and twist on the exhale. Breathe in and twist deeper and slowly come out of this. Good job. You can remove your block. Come down into Yogi Squat. So here we are. Our toes are facing the edges of our mat or the top and bottom of our mat. Here we are, straight back. Crown of our head is drawing up to the ceiling. Hands at heart. You're separating your knees with your elbows. So you're really coming into this squat position. Breathe in. Now, for some people, this is super challenging. Breathe in and out. If it's super challenging, remove your elbows. So don't stress on this. Now, try to come up on your toes and lower down. Try that again. Come up on your toes and lower down. And one more time. Come up. See if you can hold it. And lower down. Good job. And slowly make your way up to a standing position. And we're going to do that same little sequence on the left. So come into warrior two on the left side. Your left toe is facing the top of your mat. Your right leg is strong behind you. Extend your arms out long, like they're grabbing either wall. Breathe into it. You have a neutral pelvis, so you're not popping your booty out and you're not Michael Jacksoning it in. Breathe in and out. Maybe you can scooch your toes forward a little bit. Straighten your left leg. Hinge at the waist. Draw your left hand towards that wall in front of you as you lower that hand now to the shin. And draw your right arm up overhead and look at that right thumb. Draw it up. Crown of your head is now drawing to the wall that's in front of you. Breathe in and out. Trikonasana. It's like we're between two panes of glass. Breathe in and out. In and out, and slowly make your way out of this. And we're going to come into that twisted triangle. No, we're going to do pyramid first. So I want you to bring your right foot halfway up your mat. If you got a block, place it right in front of your body, and make sure you've got that equal balance so that one leg doesn't have more than the other. And on an inhale, extend. On an exhale, sink. You're sinking over your left leg. Inhale and sink. Inhale and sink. Now place that block maybe on the highest setting or on the second highest setting on the inside of your left arch, and draw your left arm up overhead for twisting triangle. I'm up on my right fingertips, and the crown of my head is drawing towards the front of the room, and I'm looking up at my thumb. And I'm trying to stack my shoulders. The tops of my thighs are touching. Breathe in and out. One more breath in and out, and come out of it slowly. Good. And remove the block. Wipe your brow if you need that. And make your way into whatever version of boat you like. So it can be, your forearms can be on the mat. And this is my big aha. It's not necessarily easier this way. You think, oh, you got your forearms, that's good. No, if you check it out, here's the deal. because you want to be on your sacrum. You don't want to be all the way in your back, and you don't want to be all the way up forward on your butt. You want to be right at that sweet spot, that kind of rocking point. So hold the back of your thighs if that works. Go onto your forearms if that works. For me, that kind of draws me kind of further onto my back. So this is really about what I can do. Breathe in and out. You can extend your arms long and exhale into low boat. Look at your toes. Come up into high boat. Inhale, exhale into low boat. Look at your toes. Come up into high boat. Inhale. Exhale one more time into low boat and flutter kick. 1, 2, 3. Looking at your toes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down completely. Ha! Oh, that feels good, right? Yes, it does. We are going to rock and roll. So this is how we rock and roll. I grab the back of my thighs and I use the oomph of my legs to pull me up. And then I roll back and I go oomph to come up. And I roll back. And one more time, oomph. Now check this out. You go back, and if you really get a, you can come up and go into downward facing dog. So here we are, down dog. Knees on your mat. Come into knees on your mat. Your toes are straight out behind you. Your hips are over your knees. We are up on our knees. And we're going to be doing Camel Pose. So this is a prep for the little bit of back bending that we're going to do. This is what we call the igniting portion of the practice, which is sometimes considered the peak of the practice. So place your hands facing, your fingers are facing down like you're going into your jeans pockets on the back. And really feel the heel of your palm right against the lower part of your back. So here we are. Now with camel, it's real easy to go into an extreme form of camel, and that might not be the best way of doing it. So what we're doing is we're drawing the middle of our chest up towards the ceiling. So it's bringing our elbows closer together behind our back and drawing our chest up to the ceiling, looking up at the ceiling. Now, for an extreme form, you're really back bending and you're placing your hands on your ankles, but don't do that quite yet. Feel comfortable with just getting your elbows closer together behind you and getting the middle of your chest up towards the ceiling and looking up and breathing in and out and coming out of it. I mean, that's a back bend right there. And we're just prepping for bridge, which is coming up very soon, even next. But let's do camel one more time to prep for this. Hands, palms are on the upper part of your butt. Your fingers are facing down. The heels of your hands are right in your lower back. And draw this middle of your chest up towards the ceiling and look up at the ceiling and breathe. And come out of it. Good job. Place your hands on the mat. Come into a tabletop position. And we're going to just do a couple of cat-cows. Look up for cow. Exhale into cat. Look up for cow. And exhale into cat. I want you to come onto your back. So you're fully on your back. Your knees are bent. Your toes are facing the front of the room. Graze your ankles with your fingertips. And now I want you to really feel all four corners of your feet in the mat. So this is going to be one of the PowerPoints. And then feel your full arm from the tricep down to your fingertips pressing into the mat. This is what we do to come up into bridge. And bridge is nothing more than using our feet and our arms to lift our hips up. So try that now. Come up, and you feel as you do this, you're coming more on your shoulder. You're coming more significantly on your shoulders. Draw your knees towards one another, not touching. They're just drawing towards one another. Breathe here. Another breath in. And one more. And lower down. Now, if that is a big movement for you, you can take your block and you can place it under your sacrum, and you can use that for supported bridge. And if bridge isn't in the works for you, you can also just take Supine Twist, where the soles of your feet are together. It's also called butterfly pose, and one hand is on your belly and one hand is on your chest. But if bridge is there for you, it's good. It's a good part of the practice. So really plaster your arms into the mat, and on an inhale, lift your hips up. Draw your knees towards one another and try to unclench your butt. You really want to be using your feet and your arms, and shift your arms around. Maybe you can tuck your shoulders a little bit deeper behind your back, and breathe in and out. Breathe in again and out. And one more breath in. Breathe in and out, and lower down. Good. Windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Give your back a little bit of a release. This shouldn't be dumping into your lower back. We're trying to avoid that. We're trying to use the muscles of our legs and arms to bring our hips up, and not using our butt and our lower back to make that happen. So with that in mind, on your next inhale, just pop right up. Come up, breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. One more breath in and out, and lower down. And now take Supine Twist. One hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. The soles of your feet are together and your knees are out wide. And breathe into this. And again, grab your thighs and do that rock and roll thing again, and come back, however you get there, into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Extend your right leg long behind you and bring that right knee right behind your wrist. We're coming into half pigeon on the right. Scoot your left leg back so your left leg is straight. Your left toes are flat on the mat. You extend your arms out in front of you and place your forehead on the mat and breathe into this. This is a hip opener. So this is a point in the practice when your mind can wander. Bring it back to that intention that you set, or set an intention now. We'll be here just for a moment, but sink into this. And slowly make your way up with your hands. Come back into that downward facing dog. Do any counter stretch that you need. And then bring your left knee behind your left wrist for half pigeon on the left. Scooching your right leg back. Coming onto your forearms. Stay here if that's comfortable and if that's enough. But if you've got it, stretch out your arms in front of you and bring your forehead to the mat and breathe here. One more breath in and out. And slowly make your way up. Swing your right leg around, left leg to meet it in front. Draw your arms up to the ceiling and fold over your legs, drawing your lower back towards your knees. Grab the soles of your feet with your fingers and fold. On the inhale, on the exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold deeper. Come up, get your block, if you've got one, and come into waterfall. If you don't have a block, you can do shoulder stand or legs up the wall. Just get your feet up over your hips for a moment, just to bring the blood flow back into your major organs for a rejuvenation. Breathe here. Two more rounds of breath. And lower down, if you've got a block, remove it. If you're in shoulder stand, come out, roll onto your back. Extend your legs long and your arms long behind you. So like it's your morning stretch. Give a big, big, big stretch. Draw your right knee into your belly, into your chest, and draw it over to your left for supine twist. Extend your right arm long and bend your head and look over at your right thumb. Breathe here. In and out. Your hips are stacked. Breathe in and out. And now come back and bring your left knee into your chest and draw it over to the right, stacking your hips. Look out over your extended left thumb. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And come back. Extend your legs long and come into Shavasana for a few minutes to find rest after doing a really good practice. Return to just your natural, normal breath. Bring some movement into your fingers and toes and roll onto your side, cradling your head in your arm into a fetal position and take a few breaths here. And with your eyes closed, make your way up into a comfortable seated position. Sit up tall, the crown of your head reaching towards the top of the room. Bring your hands to heart in prayer, and we'll end practice with the way we began, with the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Om.
thumb knuckles to your forehead. Look up. The light in me honors the light in you. We bow together and say, Namaste, Namaste.